Yerrick Van had lived his entire life dodging the consequences of his decisions. From skipping out on rent in 3 different colonies to forgetting to pay back friendly loans, he was a man who treated responsibility like it was a disease. But now the disease had grown teeth and was knocking on his door, literally. Van, you owe the Zoric Syndicate 50,000 creds. Last warning before we cut off your legs. The voice outside his dingy habitation pod wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Jarick's heart hammered in his chest. 50,000 creds wasn't a small sum, and the Zoric debt collectors were notorious for following through. Running wasn't new to him. But this time, he needed a trick they wouldn't see coming. He slipped out the back exit, scrambling down the alley of the trade district. The markets were bustling with aliens, some scaly, some feathered, some towering, and all of them too busy with their wares to notice one skinny human ducking for cover. He spotted a massive fabric line stretched between 2 metal poles. Laundry, freshly washed clothes, fluttered in the artificial wind of the station's air systems. But this wasn't ordinary laundry. It belonged to the Bzari warrior women. Everyone on this orbital station knew them. 7-foot-tall, broad-shouldered, green-skinned warrior maidens who sold their services as mercenaries. They were legendary for their strength, their short tempers, and their clothing. Oversized battle linens, tunics, and training wraps that looked more like sails and garments. Yerrick smirked. It was perfect. A hiding spot no collector would dare check. Without hesitation, he dove into a pile of still damp battle tunics, burrowing deep among the folds. The scent was sharp, iron salt, a hint of musk. His nose wrinkled, but he reminded himself it was better than losing a limb. From outside, he heard boots thundering past, voices snarling. He went this way. Yerrick froze, pressing deeper into the muscular alien girl's laundry pile. The garments were so large he could stretch out fully inside a single tunic sleeve. For the first time in hours, he let himself relax. That was his mistake. The laundry shifted. A massive hand grabbed the tunic he was hiding under and yanked it upward. Yerrick tumbled out, coughing as sunlight struck his face. He looked up and up and up. Standing before him was a Bzari woman in nothing but a training wrap and dripping hair. She was taller than 2 humans stacked, muscles bulging across her emerald arms, eyes glowing like polished amber. In one hand, she held the tunic he'd been hiding in. In the other, a basket of clean linens that looked absurdly tiny in her massive grip. "What?" she rumbled. "Is this?" Yerrick scrambled to his feet, brushing off lint. Laundry inspector. Yes, very routine. Just checking for quality." Her brow furrowed. The air grew heavy. From behind her, more warrior women emerged, each taller, broader, and more intimidating than the last. One had tusks jutting from her lower jaw. Another cracked her knuckles, muscles rolling under jade skin. A third smirked as if already amused by the absurdity. The leader slammed the tunic down beside Yerrick. Dust flew. "You dare hide in the garments of the Bzari? Explain yourself, little human, before I decide your bones would make fine hairpins." Yerrick swallowed hard. "Look, ladies, I can explain. Debt collectors. Nasty people. They'll kill me. I just needed a place to hide for 5 minutes, tops." The women exchanged glances. Then they erupted into laughter. The sound shook the ground like thunder. One of them bent over, slapping her thigh. Another actually wiped a tear from her eye. "You crawled into our laundry pile to escape the syndicate?" the tusked one said. "Either you are the bravest fool in the galaxy or the stupidest." "Possibly both," the leader muttered. Before Yerrick could defend himself, the sound of boots echoed again. Syndicate collectors, armed with shock rods, stormed into the courtyard. Their leader, a reptilian thug with metal implants, pointed at Yerrick. "There, grab him." Jarick's heart dropped. He turned to run, only to smack into the warrior woman's midsection. She hadn't moved. "Back off," she growled at the syndicate men, stepping forward. "This human is under the protection of the Bzari." Yerrick blinked. "Protection?" The syndicate leader sneered. "That little rodent owes us. No alien law shields him." But the warrior crossed her arms, muscles flexing like coiled steel. "Then you'll have to go through us." The collectors hesitated. Fighting a Bzari was suicide. Their reputation wasn't just rumor. They were battle-forged mercenaries who once repelled entire pirate fleets. The syndicate spat on the ground, but he gestured for his men to withdraw. "This isn't over, Ven," he snarled before retreating. The courtyard fell silent. Yerrick let out a shaky laugh. "Wow, you saved me. Thanks. Really." The leader's amber eyes bore into him. "Don't thank us yet, human. You've dishonored our garments. That carries a price." They dragged him into their training hall, a cavernous space filled with weapons racks, weights carved from starship scrap, and banners depicting ancient battles. Yerrick felt very small, surrounded by warriors who could crush him between thumb and forefinger. "So, what's the punishment?" he asked nervously. "A fine? Community service? A gentle warning?" The tusked woman grinned. You will work for us. Jarek's jaw dropped. Work? Yes. The leader said firmly. You owe the syndicate, but now you owe us too. You will wash, scrub, polish armor, oil weapons. You will be our errand boy. Fail, and you will wish the syndicate had found you instead. Yarrick wanted to protest, but one look at their flexing muscles shut him up. Fine, I'll work. And so began the strangest chapter of his life. At first, Yarrick was miserable. The laundry of the Bzari was no ordinary task. It was an industrial ordeal. Their training wraps were as heavy as anchor chains. Their armor needed polishing for hours, and their boots were larger than his torso. He spent entire days hauling, scrubbing, and collapsing from exhaustion. The warrior women watched with amusement. Careful human. One teased as he struggled under a stack of linens. If you drown in our wash water, we'll use your skull as a soap dish. But slowly, something unexpected happened. He adapted. The constant lifting built strength in his wiry frame. The endless scrubbing taught him discipline. The warriors, initially mocking, began to treat him less like a pest and more like a strange, persistent pet. One evening, after weeks of labor, the leader approached him. You don't quit easily. That surprises me. Yarrick wiped sweat from his brow. Surprise. I'm not just a coward, you know. Well, mostly. She chuckled, a deep, rolling sound. Maybe we'll make a warrior of you yet. But peace never lasted long for Yarrick. The syndicate returned. This time, they brought twice the men and a heavy shock cannon. We'll burn your hall to the ground if you keep harboring him, the leader hissed from the shadows. The Bzari warriors readied their weapons. Yarrick, trembling, realized the fight wasn't just about him anymore. If they battled, the syndicate might slaughter innocents in the district. For the first time in his life, he did want others to suffer for his mistakes. So he stepped forward. Wait! The Bzari leader grabbed his arm. Fool, they'll kill you. Maybe, Yarrick said, surprising even himself. But I've hidden long enough. Time to settle my debt. The syndicate leader smirked. Finally some sense. But Yarrick wasn't surrendering. He held up a datapad he'd swiped weeks ago during one of his odd jobs. You want creds? I don't have them. But I have something better. Your records. Every dirty transaction, every extortion payment, every bribe you ever logged. I hacked it when you weren't looking. The syndicate leader froze. His men exchanged nervous glances. Turn me in, and this goes public. Yarrick continued. Every authority from here to the core will have proof of your operations. You'll all rot in cells. The courtyard went silent. Then, slowly, the syndicate backed off. Their leader spat curses but signaled retreat. You've made an enemy for life. Then, pray the Bzari always shield you. When they were gone, Yarrick collapsed, shaking. The Bzari leader helped him up. Clever. Perhaps you are not so useless after all. Yarrick grinned weakly. Thanks. So does this mean I'm free? She shook her head, smiling faintly. No, it means you've proven yourself worthy to stay. And so Yarrick Venn, once a coward running from debt, became something unexpected. The human attendant of the Bzari warrior maidens. He still scrubbed their laundry and polished their armor, but now he did it with pride. For the first time in his life, he wasn't running anymore. And though he'd never admit out loud, hiding in the muscular alien girl's laundry had been the best decision he ever made.